What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on Joe Rogan, Burn the Boats, his most recent stand-up special on Netflix. Now, I'm not going to bury the lead here. I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan. Listen to his podcast all the time. I watched Fear Factor back in the day. I still listen to his podcast all the time. It's one of my go-tos. And I enjoy his comedy, Triggered, and what was his other one? Strange Times. I enjoyed both of them. So I was very much looking forward to this on Netflix. I caught it live. I watched it as it was happening. And I would say that this falls right in line with Joe Rogan's brand of comedy, for good and for bad. I'll explain. First of all, I'm seeing all these people, Variety and Deadline, and all these people online just bashing him for his comedy, right? You look at people like Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, these guys are taking today's culture and they're skewering it. They're making fun of it. That's what comedians are supposed to do. Comedians are supposed to take our culture, point out the ridiculousness of it, skewer it, make fun of it, and then everything's fine afterwards. It was all jokes. And I think that's very important for comedy, is for comedy to be able to look at ourselves, look at our culture, look at the people in our culture, and be able to make those jokes, be able to make fun of it. I know that for me, I like to look at myself and be as self-depreciating as possible sometimes for the sake of comedy, for the sake of making myself feel better. It's a healthy thing to do, to look at ourselves, make fun of ourselves, and then move on. And that is so important for comedy. And in this day and age, everyone wants to take what comedians say and pretend like it's not a joke. They want to take what comedians say and be like, oh, that comedian definitely means this. Dave Chappelle means that. Joe Rogan means that. This is actually what he thinks. Why can't it just be a joke? Why can't it just be a joke? I don't understand why everybody has to be so offended at jokes. I just don't get it. I thought it was funny. I thought the whole stand-up routine was funny. The jokes he was making about COVID, the jokes that he was making about his own podcast, his own success story. I think it was all funny. But I will be somewhat critical of it, because if you watch Triggered, if you watch Strange Times, and then you watch this, he does a lot of joke recycling. He does a lot of, I'm going to talk about what I talked about in my last stand-up routine, and, recycle some old jokes, present some old jokes in a new way, add some new stuff in there, sprinkle some new jokes in there, but a lot of it is very recycled. And I noticed that, especially during Burn the Boats, because I did a rewatch of Triggered and Strange Times the day before I watched Burn the Boats. And as I was watching Burn the Boats, I realized, wow, he does do a lot of joke recycling. He does do a lot of repetitive stuff. I still thought it was funny. It was still something that I enjoyed. But, I don't know, I'd like to see him branch out past the stuff that he's comfortable with. I enjoyed his alien segment in this. I thought the stuff talking about aliens was really funny. I enjoyed it. I just would like to see him break out beyond what he's done the past 2 times, now the past 3 times. So, yeah, I think that our culture needs to learn to take a joke, needs to learn to laugh at themselves, and needs to learn to not take comedians so seriously. Because when I see people coming after Dave Chappelle, when I see people coming after Ricky Gervais, when I see people coming after Joe Rogan, I'm like, just laugh at it. Take a joke. Move on. It's easy. It's easy. It's the easiest thing to do. I mean, I know why they can't move on. I know why. Because calling him out in their public space is going to get them clicks. It's going to get their article read. It's going to get their video watched. It's going to get engagement on social media. Those things are going to happen. So I know why they can't just laugh at it, because they have to make money off of it too. And that's too bad. That's too bad, because I think it's very healthy for a culture, for society, to be able to laugh at themselves. Just like us as individuals, it's easy for us to laugh. It's healthy for us to laugh at ourselves. It's healthy for the culture as a whole. And in some ways, comedians are one of the voices of our culture. It's real easy, it's real healthy to laugh at ourselves. And for some reason, we're uncomfortable with that, or at least part of our culture, part of our society is uncomfortable with that, and that's too bad. So I got to go positive with this. I'm not sure. I don't know. I need to do a rewatch of it to figure out if I liked it more or less than Triggered, more or less than Strange Times. I don't know. Like I said, there was definitely some recycled stuff in here, but yeah, Joe Rogan brings it. He brings it. I'm a big fan. I love his podcast. I love the guy. You know, love his UFC stuff. So I'm a big fan of his. So yeah, enjoyed it. Just not sure where I'd put it in comparison with the other two. So that's my take on Joe Rogan Burn the Boats. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.